Hey everybody, this is Dominique with Black Girl Reviews, and I'm back with the final episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 16. Art imitates life. Thank you, Jesus, that this is over. All right. All right, let's get right into it. We have Sanya meeting up with Marlo at Dr. Jackie's office to see the baby and the heartbeat and everything. It was interesting to me when I first watched it that when she first went to the doctor, Dr. Jackie said that she was 15, 5 weeks. And then Dr. Jackie again, 2 weeks later, saying that she's 5 weeks. I thought that was very interesting. I was thinking, like, even though I already knew that Sonia um, had a miscarriage before she told everybody at the end, I thought that if I was her, that would have been a red flag for me. But it wasn't at the time. So she was just happy that Marlo was there for that. Drew is sitting in her house, in her bed, without Ralph in the bed next to her. Ralph comes in, asks her how she's doing. She was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm just tired. All this filming, yada, yada, yada. When are you moving back into the room?" He was like, "Well, we're on two different schedules, and I just needed my sleep because you come in at 3 in the morning, and I got to go to work at this. And what do you do, Ralph? Can we please?" I'm mad that we finished this season without knowing exactly, pinpointing exactly what Ralph does, that he needs to sleep in a whole nother room because he needs to sleep. Okay? Anyways, then she brings up the fact that Courtney called her the B word and how she doesn't like that and how she's disrespecting us. And he was like, "Us? Us? What us? Why you adding us to this? Like, she ain't saying nothing about me." And she was like, "Well, if she says something about me, she's saying something about us. Like, we are one and whatever." And he was just like, "Well, didn't Kenya call you a B word? Didn't Sheree call you a B word? What, I'm supposed to be out here just trying to fight everybody who calls you a B word?" Gaslighting. Pretty much. She gets up, goes downstairs to get away from him. He follows her. "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And she's like, "No, not all right." Like, then she brings her sister into it, which she should never did. She was like, "Didn't you talk to her?" She said that she never said that she called me a B word, and her sister was like, "Yeah, she said that straight to my face that she didn't call her a B word." And then here come Ralph like, "You need to stay out of it. You need to stay out of it. I got this handle." And she was like, I wasn't even in it. Y'all come down here bothering me. I'm over here washing dishes. Y'all come down here bothering me." And then here go Drew walking away, telling producers to take the mic off of her because she's done. She's tired of him acting like nothing phases him, nothing bothers him that bothers her. She's like, "My feelings are never in consideration," or whatever. And sister follows Drew up the stairs, and pretty much they all crying. Next scene, we have Sheree. She is in the car with her daughter, and they talked about the party, the sip and see. And she was like, "How you feel about Bob bringing his daughter?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, it's cool." She was like, "Have you ever met her before?" And she's like, "Yeah, I met her a long time ago. Like we had family dinners, and she'll be there." And then she was like, Sheree was like, "That's crazy because I never knew nothing about her." She was like, "You didn't? I didn't know. I thought y'all knew. I thought that he'd been told you. Like, she's been around." And she was telling her that Bob said that he was sneaking her around the family without telling her. And she was like, "Wow, that's crazy. It's Bob." Like, I'm not even surprised, honestly. I'm not. I don't even know why Sheree's surprised at this point. Bob is Bob. Bob is gonna do whatever he want to do. Okay. Next thing we have Kenya and her dad and baby Brooklyn, the star of the show. They are having breakfast, and she pretty much brings up the fact that she's thinking about having another baby, and he was like, "No, not after you almost passed away the last time you had Brooklyn. Like, I'm not going through that stress no more." And she was like, "No, I'm not planning on having a baby. I'm thinking about having a surrogate." And he was like, "Oh, okay, that's not a bad idea." And he was like, "Okay, are you planning on like adopting? I know you're talking about having a surrogate, but with who?" She was like, "Me and Mark still has embryos, and I was thinking about using them." He was like, "How do he feel about that?" And she was like, "I haven't really talked to him about it, and I know it's going to be, a battle, and I'm not ready for all that." Girl, I wouldn't. I would adopt at this point. I rather adopt than have to deal with Mark daily with anything else, dealing with anything else. Honestly, I'd rather adopt. Give another child, a newborn child out there who needs a family, a home. Can you don't deal with Mark? All right, moving on. We have a short scene with Marlo and La Thrift Store Kive, La Thrift Store Kive. And she meets up with Scotty and her friend. They're dating, and she says she never brought a man to La Thrift Store, even though she hasn't had La Thrift Store that long. So who are you bringing there? She's saying she has clients like, what's her name? That one lady on reality TV. I forgot her name. And then she got it really don't matter. It was a short scene, and she said business is good, I guess. Next, we have Drew and Ralph at marriage counseling, and they are talking about how Ralph repeats the same thing, saying that, even though I haven't come to marriage counseling, I've been doing the work. I did the work by moving out of the marital bed. Then she was like, and then he pretty much asked her how she feels about it. She was like, I'm a little concerned because now the kids are asking questions. He was like, oh, that's a lie. That's a lie. They ain't asking no questions. And she pulls out the receipts of her oldest son texting her saying, hey, I noticed dad moved into the guest bedroom. He doesn't want us to sleep with him. I really don't understand what's going on. Da, 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 da. So she shows him proof, and then he kind of he pretty much ignores the proof and moves on to a whole nother conversation and tries to make it seem like, oh yeah, I don't understand. We're pretty good. It's a whole bunch of couples out there that sleep in separate beds, but they're still together. And she was like, her friend is sleeping in her friend, their couple, they're sleeping in separate beds, and she was like, and they're getting a divorce. And he was like, well, who hasn't filed for a divorce? That's besides the point, Ralph. Okay. Then somehow we went from the marriage counseling to them arriving at the past. Oh, I'm doing this. The past trailer event for Kandi, and she's there for sound check because she is performing at the events. And she's like, I'm very confused because one minute, me and Ralph is not getting along, but when I need him to show up to be the perfect husband, he's always willing and down to be there for me. No, he's willing and down to be at events that he knows, like this, that he knows other influenced people will be there. Like T.I. and Tiny was there, and other people was there. I'm pretty sure that it just wasn't on camera. He knows that Kandi and Todd is gonna bring out Atlanta. So if he wants to mix and mingle with the who's of Atlanta, he's gonna be there. Okay. If he's not, then he knows it ain't gonna be much about anything. He's showing up to all of the perfect events that he knows people are gonna be there, and he can mix and mingle with them. Okay. Catch that, T. All right. So pretty much everybody is showing up. Drew is dressed in her party gown. She has 2 outfit changes, well 3, because she got there in this ugly Versace 2-piece suit. Then she changed into this non-flattering glitter black dress. Before she walks out, she gives Ty a side hug, and they both just smiling and cheesing. Okay, everybody shows up. Courtney waves at everybody, and she thinks she's about to give Drew's sister a hug. Drew's sister like, don't touch me with your crummy hands, girl. She didn't say that, but in my mind, that's what she said. She was like this. I hope you can see my arm like a frame. Don't even come over here with that fake. She said, don't even come over here with all that fake stuff, girl. I ain't trying to hug you. And then she was like, oh, what's wrong? Why do you? This is Courtney. Why do you wonder what's going on? I don't understand. Let's come over here and talk because I don't understand what's going on. So they go and talk. And they bring up the whole conversation about her calling Drew a B word and how she lied in their face saying that she never called Drew a B word. And finally, Courtney admits that, yes, I was referring to Drew in that video clip because she knows now that it is a video clip. I'm pretty sure it went around the whole group because I know Drew ain't just gonna keep it in her phone and just say, "Oh well," because Kandi saw it, Drew saw it, Monietta had the video. I'm pretty sure Kenya saw it. I'm pretty sure it got around the group that there was a video out there of her saying the word anyway. So now she has to admit it. But on her confessional, she just said, "Oh, I only admitted so Drew and her sister can leave it alone and stop bothering me about it." Girl, please, you admitted it because you got caught. Okay? So they was going back and forth. Courtney was doing a lot of this, a lot of movement, and even Kenya was like, "Oh, girl, let me move from right here because there's a lot of hand movements going around, and I don't like that." So they move, and they finally just like, "All right, whatever. Let's just let bygones be bygones or whatever." And Drew was like, "I got to get ready for my show," and it was pretty much the end of that. Mama Joy shows up, gives everybody a hug. Then the last two people that showed up was Marlo and Sheree with this big, ugly blonde wig, bangs like right here. It was so ugly, y'all. So ugly. Like, girl. So ugly. Then they showed the trailer. Everybody was like, "Ooh, the trailer spicy. Ooh." And Drew was like, and that, because, you know, in the trailer, she kissing and lovey-dovey on a woman all in the trailer. So Drew was like, "And ladies and gentlemen, that's how you act." Drew, you gonna keep this, she gonna keep this lie all the way to the end, right? Okay, whatever, that's fine. So then Drew gets on stage and sings a song. You already know, different. Different. She said her mic was on, but she was lip singing to a song. I didn't hear her lie, sing to this song, but she said her mic was on. Oh, but I already know she was lip singing to the song. Okay, it's the song, yeah, lip singing to the song, cause I already know. All right, then the end, they had Kandi's ending. She said she's in a good place, she's happy, she's excited for what's next, whatever. Kandi didn't win the Tony Award, but she is still not giving up to be an EGOT. Her movie, The Past, is going to be on Peacock. And what else? The movie going to be on Peacock. And Todd and Kandi is producing The Wiz, which I already knew. So everything I knew that we're going to be on Peacock. Past going to be on Peacock with that. This is great. Because Drew, over here, I'm only going to do stuff from Lifetime and above. Okay, Peacock is better than Lifetime, in my opinion. Okay, because you can always go back, watch it, and I bet Kandi got that bag. Okay. Then Sheree had her little closing statement. Sheree pretty much, her fibroids is getting smaller, and her and Martell is committed as friends. Period. Marlo is still dating Scott Lee and is working with the foster kids. Kenya is still growing her hair care line. Her med spa just had the soft opening that we barely got to see a little clip of it when it should have been a whole segment of Kenya in the med spa. Like they could have cut out a whole bunch of stuff. Like they literally could have cut out the whole scene with Drew and Ralph talking about Courtney calling her the B word and she cried, and they could have just put Kenya's med spa opening on that spot. Okay, whatever. So after season 15 wraps, the news of Drew's divorce hits the blogs. Then they restart filming back in March, and we open up with Marlo spilling the tea, reading what the blogs say, talking to Sheree about it, and they going back and forth. And then we have Sanya talking to Ross about it. It's pretty much a topic of conversation. Then we get to Sanya talking about how she pretty much had a miscarriage, And she was so sad because she had to tell Deuce about it because he was still, excited about the baby. And he was sad, but he was more worried about his mother being okay. And then she finally has her final title card. Um, and they pretty much announced that they're pregnant again. That's the final title card. Drew and Ralph have another sit down separately to talk about the divorce. While Drew is fake crying, saying, "Oh, I look past Ralph going to Tampa and having extramarital activities outside of our marriage or whatever." But I thought we were still working on things, and they asked Ralph like, "What caused y'all to get a divorce?" And Ralph's like, "Let me call my lawyer. Can I talk about this?" No. All right. Well, I can't talk about it. Then they asked Drew the same thing. Well, let me call my lawyer. Can I talk about this? No. So stupid. Then as they was filming the confessional, the whole Mimi Frost exposing Drew for cheating with her ex-spouse Ty, the basketball player, leaked to the vlogs. And Drew was like, "See this? Y'all see what's is this everywhere? Is this in every vlog in America? Has everybody in the world seen this yet? Or is this just on my phone?" Then they asked, she's about, "Oh my God, why would Mimi say this? This is a low reach." And she smiles. "This is a low reach." Then they asked her, "How do you know Ty?" And she was like, "Well, I met her actually on Kandi's set." Then they, I don't know if I missed this part, but I forgot to talk about how they clipped to all the other ladies that Kandi was like, "Oh yeah, Ty and Drew met on my set of the past, and they've been hanging out ever since." And then Monietta was like, "Yeah, she came to me on set saying, 'Oh, if me and Rock don't work out, I'm gonna go out. I'm going with my little crush.'" And Monietta was like, "Oh, who's your crush, girl? Tell me." And she was like, "Ty." I was like, "Oh, tea." They go to tea. And here comes Courtney. "Oh, yes, I have all the tea. Ralph Ben told me that she doesn't think that she just want to be a lesbian and just wants Ralph to just take care of the kids and pay all the bills while she's out gallivanting and going to Dallas and hanging out with Ty and going to different games at Ty's games while Ralph is at home not knowing where she's at, and she's just trying to use Ralph." And I'm like, who told Courtney to talk? Because no one asked her to. Because honestly, I do not care. But anyways, I do feel like Drew is guilty. In my opinion, Drew is guilty, and she did in fact have an affair with Ty. And yeah, that's her crush. And I think her and Ty have been hanging out a lot. And they asked Drew, "Who's Ty?" "Oh, Ty is a basketball player in Dallas. And yeah, I just met her on Kandi's set." Girl, you can't even hide the huge smile when you talk about Ty. You can't even hide it and then go back to crying. I gotta go. I gotta go. And then finally, they have Drew's title card, the ending of the thing, and they say that Ralph finally apologized for the demise of his marriage, but he didn't say it to Drew. He said it to People Magazine. People Magazine? "Yes, I want to apologize to Drew and the demise of my marriage. You got this, People Magazine. This is an exclusive because I'm calling you." That's Ralph. And her and Ralph is still in the same home. And they're just co-parenting together. Yay! The end of season 15. Congratulations. It is finally over. I'll give that episode a C+. Yay! Just because, I don't know, it's over. I gave it a plus because it's over. Honestly, I don't really care about Drew and Ralph's marriage. They was already probably headed to divorce when they got on the show, because ain't no way you about to go to Tampa and act like you don't know why you was in Tampa if you barely told me you was in Tampa. Okay, no ma'am, no sir, no ma'am. So how do y'all feel about this season? Tell me down below. Y'all was good at last episode telling me how y'all feel. Do you feel like Ralph and Drew are really getting a divorce, or do you feel like this is just a storyline to get her on to the next season? Okay, because a lot of people act like they're going through a divorce and then somehow they make it through on the next season. So, and then they still living together. Not saying that they have to split, but if they do split, because y'all remember, Ralph got that house without telling Drew, and it's in his name. So technically, depending on how long they've been married, she would have to be the one to get out the house. They can't even, can they split their house? Their house was too big anyway for something, like, I don't know why people get on these shows and as soon as they get their first check, they buy a brand new house. Like, all right, you guys, I am so happy that it's over. I can't wait to Married to Medicine. I can't wait to Real Housewives of Potomac, even though they are produced by the same production company as Real Housewives of Atlanta, and they got an average throughout this season as a C. So I guess it's still passing if you're going grade level, but it's really not a season that I would rewatch. Okay, it was not a season I would it's not a season that I would rewatch at all. Yeah, that's all I got to say, you guys. I'm trying to keep it short and simple. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share my content to all the people that dislike this season or love this season. Let them know. Leave me a comment and tell me why you love this season. Do you think Drew is cheating on Ralph with Todd? Do you think that? Do you care? At this point, do you care? All right, y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.